Hi, it's Elisabeth Dawson here with Ways to Love Your Money. So glad that you tuned in today. We're going to have a great show. We have a local entrepreneur that I can't wait to introduce to you. Her name is Miss Allie Archer, and we're just so pleased to have her here, and we can't wait to hear her story. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes. So I would love to hear a little bit more about the work that you do, and I know you have different aspects of what you've done, and you've got some different passions because originally you were going to go into corporate America, and you decided, nope, I'm going to do something different. So tell us what your story is.
Yeah, so my story, I guess, kind of starts right when I was about to graduate college. This is about 6 years ago. Okay. I studied PR and marketing. That's what I got my degree in. And I was like really set on getting into like corporate PR or an agency. And because I was like passionate about that. But then I realized, you know, as graduation started to loom, that I really wanted to travel. And I had so much time to travel, but I didn't know how to make it happen.
Sure.
My only time overseas before that was was studying abroad in Italy.
Okay.
And I just had this like intuitive pull that I had to go back.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing was that I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. And I also did want to go into the workforce and get a job. So I just had to figure out how to get resourceful and make that happen and travel without opening up a credit card and just putting it all.
Oh, I love hearing that without opening up a credit card. That's great. You did the first right step.
Thank you. That was good. Yeah. So I definitely didn't want to do that and just, go down that rabbit hole. But what I decided to do instead was look for travel jobs that could help pay me to travel. And that's actually how I landed a job working in Italy as a tour guide. Oh, wow. And I was able to take study abroad students all over Europe for my job every weekend.
Wow.
So actually it was like the perfect job right out of college. I got paid to do that. They covered our housing and it just really made that transition out of college more fun. And I was also getting a really good work experience out of that. So when I came home from that job, I was there for about 6 months. I ended up getting an 8 to 5 job working in admissions at a university, which I really enjoyed. But then I had to get resourceful again for how I was going to travel, especially because the vacation time turned to 10 days per year. And as me being someone that wants to be free spirit, roam the world, that was definitely a transition.
Yes.
So I found various travel jobs that I would work at for 1 to 2 weeks at a time on that vacation time. Okay. And then I got to a point where I had the opportunity to move out to California and I just wanted to have a little more flexibility. So I kind of just had freelancing fall into my lap. I had been travel blogging on the side for a little while. I had a lot of experience in social media from my background in college and internships and I just kind of came into freelancing and didn't know if it would last, but then clients started snowballing in a good way.
That's great.
So I started making more money and then I realized this is something that I could actually do for a long time. And I was able to do all of my work online, so that allowed me to travel and also make money again, so that I was able to kind of stay afloat and afford my expenses.
Well, I mean, it's a big step. Now, where are you from originally?
So I grew up mainly in the Seattle area, and I went to college out at Gonzaga University. I moved around a bit, as you know, Italy, Arizona was where I worked at the university, and then now I live in San Diego.
That's great. So good family support to help, have you do what you're doing and what you love?
Yeah, they're actually very supportive. I remember when I was about to graduate and I said, I just want to travel. My parents were like, no! They're like, 1, where are you going to get the money?
Right.
2, how are you going to do this by yourself? That's too scary. The world is scary. And so,
well, being a young entrepreneur, that's usually the first step that people, fear that they can't go do it because they need to have a job. They need to have that income come each and every month, but they also need to have a paycheck that's going to support all their goals, dreams, and desires, which travel is a big one for you. Yeah. So to kind of go against that fear of becoming an entrepreneur, and now it's just you, freelance, receiving clients, and now the snowball effect, which is phenomenal. How have you been able to manage all that, and how are you able to do that to make that big step right from college?
Well, that big step was scary, I will say. Even though my parents were like, okay, you can try this, but you can always get a job as a, plan B. And I was totally fine with that. Sure. So I just decided to kind of take that leap. And I think one of the things that I did was just try to focus on what are my baseline expenses that I need to cover and what is the lifestyle things I want to get, like a gym membership at home, and when I travel, can I use airline miles or points to cover that, and just try to find blog collaborations to help again, be resourceful around those expenses.
Yes.
But I think one of the biggest things is just like getting clear on those income goals and working backwards.
That's great.
Yeah, and I think anyone can do that if they want to jump into this and be self-employed. I think one of the best things is to maybe dip a toe in first and start doing it on the side, start building up your clients or your income that way, and then scale it up.
Well, it brings us back to the show. Ways to Love Your Money is really about a respect and a relationship with money. So what you did is you kind of had a foresight into this at a young age that you became more responsible with money and a better relationship with it. So, I mean, I congratulate you on that. You did a great job because you're successful today and you're being able to still manage it probably in a similar way, I'd imagine.
Yeah. It's not always easy because when you work for yourself, you're accountable to you.
Sure.
And you have to make sure that your bucket is full with clients and that you're asking for referrals, you're keeping those testimonials, that you're aware of, you know, if a contract is 3 months, when does that end? How early should I be replenishing that? Following up if you don't get paid right away. All those like tricky things, you know, you just kind of figure it out.
Now, did you have a mentor in your life that kind of helped you look at money that way or look at running a business that way?
Kind of. My mom actually is a business owner. She has her own interior design business. Great. So ever since I was 5 years old, she's been doing that for a full-time career, and she works off of referrals for her business, word of mouth, and she's very successful in the Seattle area.
That's wonderful.
So it's been really inspiring because if I'm ever having a moment where I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, what to do next, she's always like, don't worry, stay passionate, focus on what you love, and it will come. Like,
well, it's interesting because my son just graduated from college in April, and I told him, I go, whatever you go out and do, whatever you choose it to be, I go, just make sure you love it because then it won't feel like work.
Exactly.
And so it sounds like you found what you love to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I just, traveling is something that I like to do and helping people. And
so where's the next place of travel that you want to go to?
I have a trip planned in September for Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. So I'm really excited for that.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. So people listening and watching the show right now, how would you help them with the traveling piece in their life?
I would ask them, where do they want to go? A lot of people say, oh, I want to travel the world, and they don't know where they want to go exactly, or they have a huge list. So I think the first thing to do is just narrow it down, choose one destination that you're really passionate about visiting, and then again, work backwards from your budget. See if you can fit it in, and kind of plan your vacation. And if you do want to do what I call like a work and travel lifestyle, where you work abroad for another company or work online while traveling, then there's a lot of steps on my blog that you can use.
And what's the name of your blog?
It's Go Seek Explore.
Go Seek Explore.
GoSeekExplore.com. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And how many years have you been doing that?
5 years.
5 years.
Or 5.5 years now.
5.5 years. Wow.
Yeah, almost.
That's like a kindergartner.
I know. It's so funny to think about it that way.
I know. Well, you know, successes, you know, have their stories, right? So what's the next big thing that you want to do?
With my career?
With your career, or how you want to educate people about how to travel better, or you know, you're going to go on an amazing trip coming up, but you know, have you done like your 1 year, your 3 year, your 5 year kind of plan for you, even financially, or even for the business, like what your business vision looks like, or you know, what are those things that are kind of at the back of your mind so that you can continue to be a success out there?
So one of my biggest business visions is transitioning into more educational content for my readers. So I started that. I do have an e-course on helping aspiring freelancers do Pinterest marketing as a freelancer, which is like one of my niches, one of my specialties. So that's something that I've been doing. I also want to do some group programs on mindset and self-development. I'm just really passionate about education with all my experience in the higher education or study abroad. So higher education, tell me about what things that really spark interest with you. Do you have specifics, or is it just mostly travel? I love travel. I think that's a great way that you can learn about other cultures just by experiencing. I really like experience-based education. But in the past, I used to work in admissions, and I just love like connecting one-on-one or with groups, doing public speaking with students. And I'm just like passionate about growing and bettering yourself as a person, whether that's through traditional education or through online education or even just reading books. So,
well, for all the viewers, what would you like them to hear about you? to kind of wrap up our content today?
Content, everything.
Well, you can tell them that they can go see you on your blog, that they can hear you and watch you. And you said Pinterest is a big area for you as well, right? Is there anything else that you want people to have a focus on if you could talk to millions of Americans today?
I would just tell them to go after their dreams and find a way to do that. And if they are interested in creating a work and travel lifestyle, I have a free guide on my blog.
Great.
There they can download. It's a free PDF, and it has a full email series that takes them through all the steps.
Okay.
And there's tons of information on there. They can also get in touch with me on Instagram at Allie Archer is my handle. I respond to all of my DMs, all of my emails. Any questions people have on making that transition to self-employment or traveling or just how to be more passionate in your life.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show because I think you're giving perspective. You don't have to be, 30 or 40 to start your own business. You can start in your early 20s and you can be a great success. And you can have a lot of impact on education that you want to be able to, present to people because I'm on a mission every single day to educate as many people as I possibly can. That's why we do the show.
I love it. Yeah.
That's why we do the show. So I'm so glad that we're aligned in our mission, if you will, and so glad that you had the time to come to the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're
It's
welcome.
been great.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
So isn't Allie just a breath of fresh air? It's so exciting to hear about a young woman that had inspiration, I think probably a little bit from her mom, about being a business owner, but also that inspiration about really wanted to have that travel lifestyle. Now, not everyone out there is going to do it because they don't necessarily have the courage, but put your little toes in there in the water and see what works for you. The biggest thing is with the respect for money and a relationship with it, just to make sure you have that baseline income. I heard Allie say it. We talk about it every day, but that baseline income is so critical to just know what your responsibilities are so that you can actually live and do the things that you want. Because if you love what you do, it's never going to be work. And I couldn't inspire more people out there to, give us feedback. Tell us what's on your mind. What kind of dream jobs do you have out there? And, what's the story that you want to share? So stay tuned for more episodes to come. We want to thank so much for Allie being on the show today and sharing her inspiration and her story. The information provided in this show is for informational and educational purposes only. This show is not investment advice, nor is it intended to address the financial needs of any particular viewer. The opinions expressed on this show are not intended to be an endorsement of any particular investment strategy or service of any other kind. You must make an independent decision regarding investments or strategies mentioned throughout the show. Before acting on information in this show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular situation and strongly consider seeking advice from a financial advisor.